Hello there. If you were to ask any Nintendo fan what the best way to play the original 4 2D Mario games were, they would probably say something like Super Mario Advance or Nintendo Switch Online, but rarely does anyone think of Super Mario Allstars is a collection of the 8-bit games on the NES, released in 1993. These are upgraded with 16-bit graphics, better music, and everything. But how did this come to be, and why is it so underrated? Today I'm going to tell you about the history of Super Mario All-Stars and why it's so underrated. Alright, let's get into it. The year was 1989, and Nintendo was currently working on Super Mario World. But first, they decided to use Super Mario Bros. 3 as a basis. They ported the Super Mario Bros. 3 over to the SNES, but with better graphics, sound, and music. This eventually became Super Mario World, but Shigeru Miyamoto still had the idea of remastering the old games. By 1992 and 1993, games such as Super Mario Kart and Mario Paint have been released, and the SNES almost completely phased out the NES. So now there is a new generation of players that are playing these new Mario games, but now the old ones are stuck playing the 8-bit versions of these classic games. Now Nintendo had this issue on their hands, and they had to decide what to do. So they started going back to that old idea they had while developing Mario World. They decided to take the first couple of games and remaster them to be on the SNES, giving them the same better sound with the new chip, better music, and better controls. The developers actually very liked the idea and the execution of it, so they decided to turn it into a full-on compilation. It released in Japan in 1993 as Super Mario Collection. It costed $90, which was a bit steep at the time, but everyone thought it was worth it for these classic games. Later that year, it released in America for $60. Magazines said that it was one of the best Mario games on the market, and it was extremely popular. But now, it's rarely ever talked about. Nowadays, there's a higher nostalgia factor for the first 4 games, and the thing is that nobody's really willing to branch out and realize that this version already exists. And most people always talk about how great the originals were, when the 16-bit version is way better and it's sitting right here, and it's available for people with the Nintendo Switch Online. And the next thing is that people complain about the lost levels being too difficult, and I will say that the level design does help contribute to that. But I will say that the lost levels is so much better in All-Stars just because of the physics alone. Even if that's not a major factor, it still is helping a lot. While you could say that Mario All-Stars is well known, it doesn't get the appreciation that it should have. Alright, thank you for watching this very short mini video about Mario All-Stars. I really hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one.